Talk to you a bit about goal-free living. Now, as a business strategist and marketer for many years, you can imagine my whole life existed around goals and strategies and plans and all that sort of stuff. But the interesting thing is that I realized that goals are limiting, which is very much the opposite of what the popular culture would say. Now, why are they limiting? Well, first of all, I want to talk about a few things I've noticed within corporations. If you've ever worked in sales or you've had financial targets, how many times did you reforecast? In fact, it was actually a given with my clients. They would set these budgets, tell all the sales team or the people who were responsible for them to go and achieve these budgets, and every quarter and every half and 4 times throughout the year, they would just reforecast. So what is that saying? Does it mean those numbers were fiction? Were they really meant to be achieved? So goals can be very limiting because we don't believe in them half the time because people set them and then they just keep reforecasting. We can't keep reforecasting life. The other aspect of it is that, say if you're going to have financial goals or you're saving money for a holiday and you think, okay, I'm gonna save $3,000 for a holiday to go to Vanuatu. That's fantastic. Really, you'd love to go to Tahiti, but you think you can afford the Vanuatu experience at that price point. So you only ever strive to reach that $3,000 price point. And it's like that analogy of the flea being in the jar, that it keeps jumping and then hitting the lid of the jar. And then when you take the lid off, it still keeps only jumping that high. Don't be the flea in the jar. You can do so much better. And that's why goals can be limiting. I use the example because I come from publishing of people who often come to me and say, I want to publish a book. And I say, okay, well, to publish a book, you need to get an agent in this day and age. You can find a publisher and it'll take about 18 months from once you find the publisher. Now, if you want to have a limiting perspective, because I've spoken to a few publishers, so I'll just share the stats with you. They say 1% to 2% of all unsolicited manuscripts actually get published. So the figures, they're not really in your favor if you have a limited belief and you truly believe what I just said, of course. But when I say to people, do you want to publish a book or do you want to share a message? And all of a sudden they say to me, well, I want to share a message. And I said, well, if you want to share a message, how can you do it beyond a book? They said, well, I could blog, I could podcast, I could video, I could write articles, I could talk one-on-one with people. See how much more expansive that is? Imagine if I was so stuck upon that goal of being a published author. I would be waiting, hoping that something may or may not happen and then getting discouraged as I got the rejection letters, or maybe I did become a published author. My point is, I don't want you to be limited by your goals. And I really adopt myself that theory of goal-free living. Does that mean I don't have intention? Not at all. My intentions are always very clear. But I also want to talk to you about not being too attached to the outcome, because it is with the universe always a case of this or something better. So I know that I can have the intention of wanting to spread the limitless message. Of course, I do have a book and I do seminars and I'm doing these videos and you'll see my writings online and in magazines and newspapers. That's great. But what happens if I just focused on that? What happens if somebody said to me, would you like to come and speak at a school about limitless? And that wasn't on my strategy list. I never want to miss out on those opportunities. So I'm never too attached to the outcome. So what I tend to do is place an intention. And you can do this with me now. So think of something you'd really like to achieve in your life. It could be abundance, self, health, wealth, love, peace, whatever it may be. And just really focus on it right now. And place that energy of your desires in your heart space, so in the center of your chest there. And close your eyes if it makes you feel more comfortable. Now imagine that desire in that heart space within a flame within you. And with each breath out, it's like you're fueling that flame. As you know, wind can blow out a flame, but it can also make it bigger. So use your breath to make that flame bigger and bigger. Letting the energy expand within your heart, within your body, and out past your body, out into the room, the space you're in now. And breathe it out beyond your city, your state, your country, and out into the universe. Now really tap into that energy. Can you feel the difference? Can you feel how expanded that state is? Thinking of your intention in that state, as opposed to thinking, I want this exactly. In that state that you've co-created, anything is possible. In the state of, I want this exactly, only that is potentially possible. Live an expanded life, because it will truly give you your limitless self.